Anyway, it gives me great pleasure to introduce episode 105 of the Sussex by the Sea podcast. It's the Fan Roundtable. We have wonderful people here as ever. Friends of the show that are here would be the lovely Terry Scott from Margate, who's going to talk about how Margate's winning the league this year. The lovely Gabriel, who is a friend of the show from Enfield. Are you still editing the programme? No?
I'm indeed. Okay. Yeah, it's business as usual at the moment as well.
Yeah. We also have Super Malcolm, the mega agent in more ways than one. Flat white, or is it long black? Andy, the wonderful Ian Grant, and of course Windy John. Thank you, gentlemen, and ladies, for coming along.
Oh, I count as a bloke, don't worry.
I'm sorry to misgender you there. Sorry.
Don't really care.
Yeah. Another rabbit hole we could go down, which we're going to avoid. Anyway,
yeah, not today.
Well, we did have a few of those discussions when you come over for the fan barbecue, Terry. Yeah. It was wonderful seeing you there. And I hope, all us Hastings fans made you comfortable, didn't we?
Yeah, I had a really, really nice time.
Yeah, well, we got drunk as well.
Yeah, I was a wee bit.
A new season is upon us. I obviously want to get some talk from the Hastings fans as well about how we feel things are going to go. Lots of changes, should we say? And, we're going to talk to the lovely Terry. We're going to talk about Margate, and we'll talk about where they're going to finish this season. What do you think? I mean, you obviously got a few players in, not a load.
No, it's
decent players. But what are we saying?
Well, normally by this time of the season, I'm like, absolutely ringing out on me anxiety. But actually, for this season, I've been quite sort of like, yeah, it's looking okay. You know, we're not going to pull up trees or anything, but I'm quietly confident. You know, with mid-table and do me as usual. You know.
What? Quietly confident of fourth off bottom? What are we talking about? Quietly
confident of not being quite as bad as last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one off the bottom was like, oh no, yeah, that was not good.
Was it your lot that were playing Herne Bay? We like second from last game, third from last game of the season.
Oh,
was it? Is that another one I've got wrong?
No, they were. Don't even get me started.
Oh, don't talk about. We won't talk about Herne Bay, the fans. Let's not talk about that.
Nah.
But
we didn't do very well with them. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not doing too well there, am I? I'm upsetting people.
No. It's a fair thing. Luckily, they've been relegated, so we don't have to see them again.
Yeah, that's good.
That's very nice.
Works for me.
Works for us too.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, with the panel that we've got here, what are we thinking about Margate? Let's be brutally honest now. Before we go to Gab, or who I haven't spoken to yet about Enfield, where do we think Margate's finishing?
I'll say I'm looking at mid-table because we've actually got a striker. We've got more than one striker in this year, so we may actually score some goals this season, which we haven't done. So we're looking all right. Defence is looking good. We've got right mixture of like some experience there as well. We've got Tyrone Sterling. He's come in. He's really solid. He's good at like goal line clearances and that. Keeper's a little bit anxious, I think, would be the easiest way to put him. He's getting there. He's improving. So we're getting there. Midfield, we've just signed another midfielder. Little Mocham. He's looking really good. He's one of these. He's like not too much on the tricky feet, knows when to pass it rather than too much of it and giving the ball away. So,
is that one of yours, Malk?
What's that?
Well, Mo Cham.
No,
he's not on your books. All right, mate. Sorry, I thought I'd just check.
Not yet.
No. I've been very busy this summer, but
you have, haven't you?
Oh, mate. Not many, mate. Yeah, what was it? Just southeast London. You've been busy, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been busy everywhere, mate. Yeah, it's. I've got quite a few still on there. Gail's one of them. Man United goalkeeper, he's a free agent at the moment. So Margate, I just heard her say,
give him a shout.
Yeah, I can send him down.
Yeah. So what are we thinking about Margate? Come on, be honest. I think they're going to stay up, and that's not just because Terry's on.
I'll say,
but I think it might be a struggle. It's going to not.
Yeah, we're not going to make things easy. We never do with Margate. That's how we work. So I'll say I'm aiming for mid-table. If we get any higher, great. But I'll say with the guys we've got in, it's I'll say quietly optimistic. Yeah.
Well, if you get to Gay, you might be looking playoffs, but
we'll see.
No one else want to speak on Margate?
15th.
Higher, lower, anyone?
I don't know. I'm basing that on not much, but 15th.
No one. All right.
I think bottom half.
Yeah, bottom half.
I think you'll stay up, but
I'll say I'm not. As I said, we're not going to be pulling up trees, but I'm more confident than last season. Put it that way.
I'm glad you stayed up because I still got all my earplugs to.
Yeah, I think we go to you lot on non-league day actually, which would be nice.
Oh, right. Okay.
It'd be nice not to go there in the sort of dead of winter either.
Yeah,
so I think we've got every time we go to Margate, we're quite lucky.
We were supposed to be at Erith and Belvedere tonight, and it was pitches underwater. So great. It's all this for crying out loud.
Right, Gab, your turn. Obviously, I haven't spoken to you yet through the power of editing. So,
sorry about that.
Anything about free programs or anything like that. But yeah, Gab, what do you think? I mean, obviously your lot, have been changes behind the scenes. Again, you brought a few people in. I mean, I don't know the league well enough to kind of really judge what the players that you have brought in, but you think you're going to do better this season?
It's hard to say. I think there has to be a degree of patience, and I think there is already in terms of, Andy was there 6 years, and I think that what did for him in the end was that we didn't just get bad results towards the end of the season. It's just the football that we were playing was absolutely sort of terrible as well. So at least there's the sort of promise after at least a few months of something slightly more attractive. Whether it gets results, we'll have to wait and see. It's looked okay so far. We've done the business the last few pre-season games. The new additions look pretty decent. Reece Forster in goal looks really solid. Couple of decent midfielders as well. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I think the general feeling is if we make the playoffs, it's a real bonus. As with sort of a lot of years, but I think perhaps just given that it's so new and the players obviously have one season to sort of bed into the new management's kind of style of thinking, I think if we do manage to get top 5, it would be amazing.
Fair enough then. Okay. Any of the guys and girls here want to speak on Enfield?
I reckon Enfield will be up near the top.
Yeah.
Based on last year, anyway.
Yeah.
Did you lose many players?
We've kept. I think we're lucky. Last few seasons, we've lost sort of half of the squad, but the ones we've kept have been the real kind of core players. So Jake Cass has stayed. Sam Youngs, Scott Thomas. The sort of spine of the team is there. James Richmond at the back as well. There've been a few surprising departures. Nathan McDonald's gone after however many 100 appearances. Moved sort of for personal reasons, and Adam Cunnington's gone, so there isn't that kind of as direct an option. I don't think this year as you might have seen last season. But I think the big fella up front
always gave us trouble. Yeah.
There's
Jake
direct,
as well, who's
never direct.
No, but you might be surprised this season. I think there's certainly in pre-season there's been a real sort of marked shift away from that. And individually, I think we've got some real promise. I mean, Mickey Parcells come back from Hornchurch, which has excited everyone. Joe Payne on the other flank looks really decent as well. So I think individually it's there. It's just sort of gelling into a squad, and obviously sort of playing in the style that Gavin wants us to. And Marcus Wiley as well, I've got to mention up front, who I think he flew a bit under the radar last year. But I think if he's paired with someone up front this season, I think it could be a really good season for him.
Are you saying it's going to be total football? Is this what you're promising, Enfield?
the closest that the Isthmian League can get to it, I think, Chris, is if we're being realistic.
Yeah.
Well, the same with yours, same with Margate. Very much looking forward to coming to those away days because you're a lovely bunch as well. So
likewise. I think we've been blessed as well. Again, with the fixture list, I think it's our last away day, and I think after last year, I think both
the rainy
fans owed it to each other for to actually have a decent kind of away day where we don't have to worry about the weather. So,
anyway. But we do have Mr. Towner. Beware of Mr. Towner. Hello, Kev.
Evening. I might even get to stay with you for the duration this evening. My internet holds up.
You've still got that wonderful wallpaper behind you, sir.
I was admiring that.
Yes.
Well,
my living room's like a like a 70s.
We'd never get that vibe.
He's stuck in the 70s.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Talk about Enfield. Enfield's one of my favourite stadiums, actually. I'm very, very fond of the architecture of Enfield
Yeah,
Stadium.
Art Deco, isn't it? It's lovely.
It's deco. It's lovely. So I'll be very happy if we both stay up. The other reason I like Enfield is because if you look on the Hastings United fans' Facebook, you'll see a photograph of me at the Enfield game. And you've got a wonderful big banner up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
By the side of the stadium that says, I'm a Towner. And it just happens to be my surname. So it's become comedy gold.
I've just muted him just so he's got a wobble board out now, I think.
Yeah. Well, he's halfway around the world, so he's probably get them cheap in the Philippines.
Right. Simon, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yay!
Christ only knows how I got that to work eventually. Sorry, it's me and Zoom.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Total incompetence on my part. So sorry, I'm here eventually.
Well, it's good that you're here, Simon, because we've got Gab on who does the program for Enfield. So obviously, as a fellow,
hello.
All right, mate. What's happening with you? Going to go digital or not?
No.
Oh, shut up!
No,
I'm going to kick you off, mate.
So I got a real hammering. I was away I was in Greece for one of the pre-season games, and I got an absolute hammering on the forums, deservedly so. Yeah.
What had you suggested it?
No, I did actually. I mean, the contingency was that they went to print for the next game, but at the game itself, I only thought we'd get sort of 150 or so for. I think it was just Ratnell or someone like that, and in the end, it was about 250. And because I did a digital version, people online saying, "Oh, what's the point? Why would you go digital?" And it's like, well, I learned my lesson.
Slippery slope. I know he wants to do it. That's Simon. He's all about that. Him and his wobble board. What are you doing in the background there, mate?
Me?
Yeah, you're something.
No. I'll try and stay steady now. I'll just try. I've got nowhere to put the phone at the moment, so I'm going to hold it like this. I'll try and keep it steady.
It's not that.
Oh, darling.
It's not that typhoon, is it?
No, we've had a couple already. One's gone, and the other one's on its way in. It's a little different here, mind you. It was getting a bit horrible back in England sometimes, wasn't it?
It wasn't too good today.
Yeah,
it's been absolute rubbish today.
What's the temperature?
So I hear.
Simon, what's the temperature where you're at?
It's dropped down to about 29 now, so it's not too bad. It was up in the high 30s not too long ago. So but it's all right. No problem. No problem. What I'm not going to miss, boys and girls, is when those clocks change at the end of October. I will not miss that. You're welcome to it. Anyway, it's good to see you back, Chris, doing this. I hope you're going to do it regularly, mate, because it's such a good show. And anyway, let me hand it back to you. I mustn't monopolise.
You're not monopoliser, don't worry, Simon. Yeah, it's not going to be as regular as it used to. I definitely don't have the time. I've had me little never say never again. So
I get it.
Simon's been there. He's got the t-shirt on his side.
There's times when you just haven't got. There's just not enough time in the day, and a lot depends on what's happening at the club as well.
There's nothing going on at Hastings, is there?
No, not.
Well, am I the only one that found that close season utterly depressing in a lot of ways?
I'm trying to be positive.
Yeah. I hear that.
No, it's.
You never knew, Chris. You never knew from one day to the next whether the club was going to still exist.
I don't know.
I remember days like that. Post Mark Gardner. I remember all that.
God,
yeah. I mean that was horrendous. You didn't know what was coming next. Yeah, I think a lot of clubs at our level go through these ups and downs, but I just think with what's happened just now, I just wanted someone to tell us what was going on, because you see the whole team disappear. Gary did his interview on YouTube towards just about at the end of the season, and as soon as I heard that interview, I thought he does not sound very upbeat. He's been told something he doesn't like, and it didn't surprise me in the slightest when he was gone. And then the next scene, the whole team's gone.
Yeah. there's been a lot of changes, hasn't there, Simon?
Not much, but seeing David Radari back now, now that's there's a step in the right direction.
That's one of Malk's, that one. Isn't it, Malk? That's one of yours?
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah,
ching, 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 ching.
Well there, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah.
Was it? He was on the train to Glasgow, wasn't he? And then you called him off, or what was it? Hang on, that sounds a bit wrong.
No, I didn't go that far.
You'll do anything to get a player, Malk.
I won't go that far. I'm sorry.
There's lines you don't cross, is there, Malk?
That's it. Yeah. It's only money. I won't pull anyone off.
No, getting David back is a huge step, and I couldn't believe it when I saw that. Oh, fantastic! Be interesting to know what kind of deal he's on. Is he signed a contract or what?
I thought he was on a 1 year deal.
Oh, that's nice.
For people that don't know, that's David Radari. He's a player that went to Worthing. Where else is he?
Crawley.
Played for Dartford for a bit as well. He's been playing higher level. It didn't seem to work out for him at Crawley, which was a shame.
He picked up an injury, didn't he?
Yeah, that didn't help. Yeah, but he was one of those lads that when we got him, because he came over from Eastbourne, didn't he?
Yeah.
That Chris Agata brought him over, and you could see that he was going to be a bit special, and he was getting better and better. And then he had a couple of ACL injuries, didn't he?
Yeah, he was really unlucky.
Very unlucky. He had one after the other. That's why I hope that everything's all right with Tom Chalmers at the end of the year. I hope he's all right, because David really went through it. And I still remember, as I put on Facebook earlier on today, that when he came back at that game at VCD Athletic 4 or 5 years ago and came on as a sub, and he scored, and he put us one up late in the game, and the celebrations, I loved it. Yeah. So it's good to see him back.
It'd be the new signing once he plays, wouldn't he? Be like a new signing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, quite right.
So, as I say, there's been many changes. Obviously, I love the T-shirt, by the way.
Yeah, the T-shirt's amazing.
It's Crichton, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Nice one.
Yeah. Is that better?
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Yeah, so as I say, obviously we've had tons of changes. A lot's been said. I wanted today to be about like what we're thinking about, what's there now, and I've got fond memories, as I think we all have, of the players that have played for us and moved on, the management team that have moved on. Fond memories. Although the Hastings chat that I'm in, I'm not allowed to think that they're all evil. They've all gone and they're the devils. But that's just Nick. So it's just But and literally Whitehawk have bought half our team, so that is going to be an absolute tasty game. I hope to have Whitehawk fans on, and we played Cheshunt, didn't we, first game? Cheshunt?
Yeah.
I think we've got Whitehawk first game, haven't we?
All right, so you sort them out, break a few legs, and then
I'm sponsoring the match ball for that game as well. So
excellent.
Yeah. Can you put some bricks in it?
Yeah, don't you worry. I'll use the Sonic on them,
But
sorry,
go on,
sorry, can I just interrupt? Terry, you're involved with another club. I don't know that. Which club's that?
Margate.
Margate. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm the loud one behind the goal with the drum.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
We all remember.
Gabe's now going, oh God, it's
Things picked up at Margate last season, didn't they?
Yeah, I'll say
it was a bit rocky for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think once we got rid of the manager and Preza took over, and that it's been a lot better. I'll say the team seemed to have gelled already because of the dressing room is already really, really good. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I'm a little bit more confident this season than I was last season. So
right, yeah. And Enfield have been through their ups and downs in recent years as well, haven't they? Been some interesting goings on in Enfield. I see your local rivals have just got promoted, haven't they?
It's very easy to get the two confused, I think.
Actually. Yeah, that can happen. Yeah,
it can happen.
not to me, but to others.
No, I mean, if you haven't done your research or whatever, then it can be really easy to do that.
Yeah. Because Enfield Town are the more recent club, aren't they? Is that right?
Yes and no. because the old lot went bust, and I mean, we're 2001. They claim they're 1893. They're really 2007, but let's keep that quiet.
Not that different from us then, really, eh?
Say that again.
Not that different from us then, really, eh?
That's very similar.
If you read up any of the club history, there's a lot of debate about when we were what and when we weren't and when we started being something else.
At least there's no kind of breakaway though that hangs on to all of the history at least. So there's no kind of pesky voice from a few miles away that claims to be Hastings United and puts hashtag only one Hastings in their social media output.
Not yet anyway.
Not yet.
not until Whitehawk rename themselves.
Fingers crossed. Well, didn't they try and change their name to Brighton City a few years ago?
They did.
Yeah, and Brighton went get stuffed.
So they have formed, to be fair.
Yeah, they are wannabes, aren't they?
They went through a little phase of having money thrown at it down there, and it didn't last long. PreSeason was another Sussex club that had money thrown at it.
Yeah,
and that didn't last long. That they went up a couple of divisions and plummeted straight back down in there in the back in the county league now. That's football at the level that we follow it, isn't it?
it is.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we've just seen this close season. I don't know.
Well,
just wanted somebody to tell us what was going on, but let's see how the new season pans out.
Who's going to tell us? You know who's going to tell us what's going on is Super Malcolm, right? Super Malcolm as our link to Stoney. I've got a major issue actually with Paul Barnes. We're at Ramsgate, we had the tray of Jaegers out, and he turned the Jaeger down. He said he had to drive home. I mean, what's that about? Stoney had a Jaeger.
Oh, bloody Jaegers! Good grief.
How many bottles of Jaeger did we do when you were over, Terry? By the way.
Oh God, there must have been. Well, I saw 2 go, I reckon.
So
and anyway. I left fairly early, so. I was like, not on the Jaeger. I had to try and get to a bloody train station.
From his house. Good luck.
But so Paul, obviously, that I was shocked by that. But no, other than that, what are you thinking, Malcolm? You kind of know the squad a little bit. You probably know some of these players better. I don't know any of these players, honestly. To me, this is just a completely new team. I didn't mind the lad on the left. Is it John? Is it Ufa? I think he's good. He's exciting. The rest of I think I haven't got that one wrong. I think he looks an exciting player. The rest of them, I've only managed to get to Ramsgate, and other than John Ufa, I was just admiring the Ramsgate goalie who had an absolute shocker. So yeah. I mean, what's your being around? And you obviously, Craig must be saying a few words. How's it all sort of shaping up? Do you think
better than we thought? I think, or it's when most of your players leave, and it's sort of a couple of weeks into a new job. I know, sort of Craig's phone ain't stopped. He ain't stopped working, sort of all summer, and the same as Barnesy, because him and Craig are talking all day, every day, along with Mr. Burney. But a couple of weeks into the job, when you haven't really got any players, and all your players have left, it was a bit concerning for him. But but the amount of players they've got, and good players, they're fair players. They'll do well in this league.
I know chairman's talking about we're winning it. Personally, I think that he shouldn't be saying that. I think he should be toning that one down. That's just my personal opinion. You don't want to put extra pressure on the management team. What are we thinking there, Malk?
I think he's got to be positive, and I think we should all be saying we're going to win the league. Even Margate, Terry.
I'm realistic. I know what Margate are like.
Yeah, I think at that sort of level now, there's a lot of good teams, a lot of good players, and they're just getting stronger and stronger. So sort of top 5 playoffs, I think is realistic, and it's something that we sort of got to aim for this year. I think especially with David coming back and Femi up front, he'll score goals. And you've got two great wingers there now. Which we was lacking last year. To be fair, we was lacking pace up front. Totally. Since Daniel Ajakai and all that went, we just had no pace up front. And at that level, you've got to have pace. Pace and a big front man, really.
Baby's definitely a big front man. Yeah,
he is.
Takes off the goal up, doesn't
he? Yeah, and he'll score goals.
He has done. Yeah.
So and some of a couple of the players that he signed in the last couple of days. Manny's a good player.
Yeah.
He's been under the radar and he looks good to me.
I think just backing up what Malcolm said, having been around, knocking around downstairs and that for the past couple of games and just catching up with people, and had quite a good couple of long chats with Paul myself when I've been bobbing around getting stuff ready for the box and that, and the atmosphere is good. And that Manny Sontan he is a really, really good player. I would second that. He yesterday for an hour, so dynamic. And I think the biggest difference in this group of players to the previous group of players is definitely the speed of the ball movement and the pace. The defence is still working itself out, I think, but because they had the under-23. In fact, he was 16-year-old in goal yesterday, Harry Howes, who did a pretty cracking job, all things considered. But the team has definitely got pace, and the ball moves very, very quickly compared to what it did in the previous team. And it just strikes me as a pretty progressive setup. I'm stunned at the level of player they've assembled, given what they had in front of them. And that the biggest thing about the players is they all look as though they want to be there. How that'll pan out, we don't know. But everyone looks as though they want to be there. And
Barnsley will bring that out of your players, though. He's got that about him. When he was down with us, all the players wanted to play for him. So he's got that. He can keep a dressing room. He's got that about him.
Hold you to that one, Terry. All right.
No, honestly, when he was at Dulwich, he wasn't given enough time.
Andy, who did the assist last night for Radari's goal? Do you know who it was? It was a cracking ball.
Dom Vose, who's one of them. So they got two.
I only saw it on their video because I wasn't at the game.
And so him and Tyler Christian Law, they're two they strike me as fairly experienced players. Tyler just sort of glides around the pitch, particularly again yesterday. You could see they're working towards the shape of where the team. Again, a quick chat with Paul suggests to me that they're obviously, as you'd expect, they are gradually homing in on the team, and the team on Saturday is likely to be pretty close to what he wants to play. And the shape of the team last night gave the impression that those two, Dom's less mobile, but he's got that experience. I think Tyler Christian Law just covers a lot of ground, and he's got people like Sontan and Ayabola around him, and they are good players, I think he's a better midfielder than what we had last year. I'm going to stick my neck out, and I think Tyler Christian Law is a better midfielder than what we had last year. What we don't see is that those wall passes back to the defenders. So defender Craig or whoever would play the ball out, and it would be wall passed straight back to him so often last year. Whereas now players are picking the ball up, they're turning on the ball, and they're looking forward. And that for me is that ball movement in just the 3 games I've seen is the biggest difference for me. And it's almost like, Mal could know more about this than me, but you can see the type of players they've been looking for. And it's quite amazing that they've got them. Yeah. Again, the level of this league is so high now because of players coming down from, Division 2 and 3, 1 and 2, isn't it? And whatever it is in old mate, 1 and 2, the budgets of those clubs means I think there's more clubs coming down from there, coming down from north and south, and that sort of thing. So the standard goes up in our league. So you can't tell till they play for real. But to me, it looks like a good team.
Yeah. I think those having those last 4 signings, and then last 2 or 3 days, really bolstered the squad as well. I was a little bit worried up to the weekend, thinking that the squad's still a little bit light.
Yeah, all of those players have been with all of those players have been with the team for quite a long time. They just hadn't signed contracts. They were just thinning out the trial.
So they were all the trialists, were they?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they were like the impression again, I'm speaking from what I see, and again, yeah, they were the trialists that made it through. And again, they went through a few players. And I think a couple of them, even that Ryan Atkins at Eastbourne, it was just obvious he was a good player. The goal he scored, the first goal, was a cracking one-touch finish. I don't know how they've done it, but they've done well.
Yeah, and we've retained a few still, and we've still got. Well, Norrie he scored a couple of goals, hasn't he, in friendlies, and
Norrie has played well. Norrie seems to have been energised a bit by it, which is interesting.
Yeah. We've always said that, though, haven't we? Just that little bit more confidence, given the freedom of some extra strength around his position. Maybe that, he'll go on. So, good. And Freddie, he's doing all right, isn't he?
Yeah, so Freddie, I think he's come on. He hasn't played from the start. He's come on as sub a few times. So I think he needs more game time back in that side again. Because obviously it's hard to tell who's going to end up, because they have got good players brought in on the wings. Hard to end up who's going to.
Started against Charlton, I think. Did he not start against Charlton?
Yeah, he did.
What was the attendance for the Charlton game? Anybody know?
700.
Yeah, 730 something, which is pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, particularly as it was £10 to get in. I think that's
there was a lot on in the town, wasn't there, that day as well? I think so. Lots of things going on around town.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how the attendances pan out. I mean, last season, the last 2 seasons have been spectacular, haven't they? Especially the promotion season. So some of the gates there were stellar. I think it's all recovery from COVID, that was, but be interesting to see what the level of attendances are when the real season starts in a couple of weeks. I won't be able to contribute to that till the new year, unfortunately. I shall follow from afar.
Good man.
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose we'd be dependent on results as well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Always. Yeah, that's any league sport, isn't it? It's all dependent on results, and that's what sorts your attendances out. But I'll be very interested to see how those attendances go when the season starts.
Yeah, it's true. So, I mean, what do we think? I'm completely honest. I don't know any of these players. So I've seen 1 or 2 of them. They look all right. I'm not thinking promotion. I'm not thinking that, but I'm thinking that it's a decent outfit. It's definitely can play some football.
Yeah. I was a little.
What was everyone else thinking?
I was a little bit worried.
What's going on from? What John was saying, Don Bose is a good player. He's been about. We were lucky to get him, and quite a few people have been in contact with Craig and said, like, what's going on down there, And once you get players like that, Tyler Christian Law, and and they start looking and going, oh, they got to Hastings, that they start inquiring more.
Yeah.
Michael Phillips will come good. He hasn't played much football, but he's recently, but sort of once he gets super fit. And the only thing I must admit, thinking back on Saturday, the only bit that concerned me is that them 3 players all wanted to do the same job, and they all wanted to be playmakers, which is what we missed last year. We didn't have a playmaker in midfield. And going on from what John said about, the ball back to Craig, and then it was, it was pretty obvious what was going to happen and this type of. He actually said to me one day last week, I've actually got the option now that if it's played back to me, or I can just stick it over the top, and I know John Hoofer will get it. It doesn't matter where I put it. If I put it right by the corner flag, he will run a half a length of the pitch and get that ball before he goes out. He said, and the other side the same with Leggy. He said, I've got that option just to play it forward.
Gab, with the new Enfield. With the new Enfield, Gab.
Well, it's an option we didn't have last year, Chris, wasn't it?
No,
you know, and
absolutely.
everyone said, "Oh, it's going backwards and sideways. It's never going forward."
Yeah.
But we never had the playmaker in midfield that demanded the ball, and then he could do nothing with it apart from go back because we didn't have the pace in. Once teams press you, you go back and they press. You've got to have an option out, which we never had last year.
Yeah, we didn't either. We've got Ben Greenhalgh, and he ended up being like playing a 9 position, where he's better at bringing the ball and sending it in. And now we've got what I think we've got 5 strikers in now instead of the one we had last season who was injured. So you know,
cool.
I would agree with what you were saying about. I kind of felt on Saturday that I was wondering who was doing the dirty work in midfield. That was my slight concern about it.
Yeah,
I wanted,
and the guy that done it was the guy that
somebody,
was,
bit of
the guy that Manny, when Manny came on, he was the guy that done the what we called it the dirty work and the dogging about in midfield and that. And I think that's what got him. Although he is a very good player anyway, but that's what got him. You know, his signature after being a trialist because of what he did on Saturday in the second half.
Because we were a bit easy to play through, I thought. Really.
Yeah.
He covers a lot of ground. And whereas last year the midfield was sometimes coming up short, almost like a yard off the pace or something. He's obviously got that little bit about him to get all over people, still commit the foul if necessary, but go and get that ball.
I think another good thing about a lot of these players, these new players, that seem to be coming from South London, around that area. In the past, Simon would back me up on this one. In the past, that would have been an issue because they're travelling to and fro for training midweek, but they're doing their training in London now. So I think we're going to keep the players. Whereas in the past, we would have lost them. They got, they get fed up after a few games. I'm not going to train just to sit on the bench, But when you're training in London, it might make
it's
sense.
the one bit about that doing one at Hastings, one in London, Greenwich.
Sorry, say again.
They're doing half and half, and it's one in Hastings, one in Greenwich.
But I think that's going to help a bit, sort of keep that bond a bit more because at A21 it's a nightmare, isn't it, for anybody to go up and down at any time, let alone on a Tuesday night in the middle of winter to do some training. So I think that's a good move.
Is that training then Tuesday London, Thursday Hastings?
Something like that. I don't know how they do it now. But...
Mark, what is it then?
I'm not quite sure, but I don't think it's Tuesday and Thursday. I think it's like Monday and Thursday, or Monday and Wednesday, something like that. It's where it's got to fit in. So
is that the whole team, or is that just the Hastings location training Hastings, or is it?
No,
I'm not quoting you on it. Not quoting you on it.
The whole team training both. The whole team will go to Hastings, and the whole team go to Greenwich. So, it's that way. It's evened itself out with the London boys and the Hastings boys.
I think that's quite a good move.
I think they're running aren't they running a minibus up or something like that?
Frenchie's doing it.
Oh, what ain't Shipman? Shipman ain't driving, is he?
Yeah, I think they're shuttling them up, which is also another. I guess some of because we got mainly the young lads down in Hastings. I guess that they've got more flexibility, and I think there was an element of obviously. Most of the guys who left, obviously, they've got sorts of jobs and families and things like that. Obviously, the ones that are still with us are under 23s or on the verge of going up from under 23s to seniors, which gives them a little bit more flexibility in travelling for the training and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And probably a bit more inclination to do so. Whereas probably the guys who've got established careers and families, more difficult.
Yeah.
I'm encouraged by that because I think one of my concerns was that you'd end up with a situation where the first team was training in London and the kids were training in Hastings.
That's why I asked.
And at that point, you've kind of lost your pathway from one up to the other. And
exactly.
The problem that you got with that, obviously, the youngsters and it's the element of cost as well. It's not cheap in whatever mode of transport you use from Hastings to Greenwich. so yeah, you've got that issue with them, although they're younger as well. So, I think they're hopefully be helped out with that as well. And yeah, in answer to that, John, it wasn't that many that turned down just because they had to travel to London, shall we say?
Right, okay.
That was the way it was presented on some platforms.
Yeah.
But anyway, before we broke up last season, Malcolm, you did give us some 10 minutes worth of home truths on players' loyalty and loyalty versus cash. So, didn't you? I remember that chat on the last podcast at the end of the last season. So
yeah,
that all came home to roost, didn't it?
At this level, and it happens a lot.
Yes.
If someone's going to offer you a £5 more, you tend to sort of walk down to the next bus stop. But who can blame them? They're trying to. They're not trying to further their career at their age, are they? They're sort of just going for the best deals that they can get.
The only one I was really surprised about, I think all the others I could understand some degree what they've moved on, but Louis Rogers, I'm not sure. I didn't get that down to Lewis. Didn't get that. He lives that way. Where's he live? It's Eastbourne or somewhere over there, isn't it?
And hasn't signed a contract anywhere.
Say again, mate.
He hasn't signed a contract anywhere yet.
Oh, I thought he was at Lewis.
Well, he's there, but he's not signed anything yet.
Okay.
From what I heard, he was going to a league above or two,
what it should be doing.
and it fell through. Is what I heard. So.
And it's very telling that nobody who left went up a division.
No.
They didn't go down a division either. Didn't go down a division either.
Yeah, I know, but they all went sideways. So nobody left and went up. So
apart from Sammy Adams.
Sorry?
Sammy Adams is going to be
playing them all next season. Does that mean we'll be playing them all next season then at some point?
Quite a few, I think. Most of them, yes. Most of them.
We can say hello to all of them when we go and watch a Whitehawk.
Yeah.
You could argue that Whitehawk showed a massive lack of imagination by doing what they did, really, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Good players. I mean, if you want to stabilise yourself in this league, they're good. We finished 7th last year. Yeah, that's no wrong with that team. I'll argue that to the cows come home, but things change.
Whitehall could be up there near the top. Maybe.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I do.
Right, then. Okay, well, we're going to ask about Hastings. Where are we finishing? And we're also going to ask about Whitehawk because we seem to be obsessed with them. Where's Hastings finishing? Ian?
8th.
Okay. Simon, where are we finishing?
I'm thinking mid-table because you've got to start from scratch. You've got to start from scratch. Mid-table.
Fair enough.
Probably just above us.
I should clarify. I've got no problem with 8.
Yeah, no, yes.
So it's not me being pessimistic.
It's not a dig.
That would be fine.
Yeah,
no problem with that.
Kevo, what is going on in your house, mate?
I think realistically, we'd all be happy just to stay up, but I can't see any reason why we can't finish mid-table or just above.
Okay, Gabs, go on. What do you reckon? Go on.
I think 8th is about accurate, actually. I think it strikes me as funny. I had no idea what your chairman said in terms of aiming to win it, but there seems to be a gulf in kind of one expectation and another expectation. I think the players you've got in, if you can keep them and if you can get them playing, I think you definitely have a shot at the playoffs. Whether you get in there, I think it's similar to us. I think you'll give it a good shot, but I'll go 7th or 8th. I think.
Okay, Malcolm,
5th, pushing for 4th.
Pushing for 4th, and Andy.
I think we'll finish higher than last year.
So 6th,
around the playoffs.
Around the playoffs, okay.
Let's say 5th or 6th. Yeah, around the playoffs. Yeah.
I think I'll go around that 8th or 9th. I think we're going to definitely be a chance of the playoffs.
I'll put it on the predict 6. I'll put 7th, but I'm going up to 3rd now because of the signings this week. Badari is going to make such a big difference if he can stay fit.
Well, yeah, and if he can play, I mean, he was brilliant against Charlton, and
he looks. I mean, I've only seen him on video clips since because I haven't seen any of the live games, but he looks like he's bulked up a bit.
He was because he was playing as a target man for the last half hour or whatever it was against Charlton. and he was never a particularly good target man because he didn't really have the strength, and he'd kind of, just get involved in petty battles with people and
fall over
kick and stuff. But he wasn't a great target man, and he was fantastic at it in that half hour against Charlton. He held the ball up, he flipped it on, he really led the line, which suggests people have been really working at finding him a role, I think, because before he was a very good player, but you couldn't quite work out what he was for.
Would he get in our team at the moment though? I mean, where would you play him?
How did we play it last night, Andy?
He played sort of wide, almost like a front three yesterday. Hard to be sure but slightly wide. But I mean, showing a lot of movement coming inside. I mean, a great movement for the goal. Because obviously Femi was playing as the out and out target man, really, as you'd expect. That's already becoming quite established. But with David buzzing around him, I mean, the good thing is with this team, Rodari was a sort of icing on the cake thing, as opposed to an instant place in the team. And it's true. I mean, he could easily play in that team. What you want is, and we've said this, I mean, I've said this before, you want 15 players that when you read them out, it doesn't really bother you who you read out as the first 11.
Exactly.
Depending on who we're playing. And that's the most important thing. And that Ryan Atkins, who came on yesterday and came on Saturday as well, again, could probably play a similar game to David. So it's great to have someone like him to supplement what they'd already bought, and it really was the icing on the cake.
I think it's as well, Andy, he's gone away and playing first pro football, if you like, football all the time. He's learned the movement. He has bulked up, obviously, because they do gym work and full-time training. He's bulked up a little bit, but he hasn't lost that pace. But he's gained the cleverness as well with the runs.
Yeah.
So his movement is so good. And the good thing about it, even though this short space of time, you've got a midfield that can find him. That know them runs, and they just find him on a sixpence, and he's I've only seen last night's goal, so on social media, but both of his goals really, that against Charlton as well, were just his movement, and they were easy finishes for someone who's a striker. But he's done it by the movement and the people finding him, and it only bodes well really if they can continue that throughout the season.
Yes.
Or you've got a big striker man in Femi, that's going to hold the ball up or flick it on for him, with that pace. So I think we'll win more games 5-4 than we will 1-0. Put it that way.
I think it is. It does look like that, doesn't it? But you won't have to wait 20 minutes for your first attempt on goal.
No, that's right. I think we'll miss Jake. Out of all the people that have gone, I think Jake Elliott is the one that I'm thinking that we'll really miss him. So
I think Jake and Kane Penn were the two that I thought Kane Penn for his potential, and Jake because of that steadiness with a bit of attacking threat. They were the two that I would say, if you had to look back, they were the two that I'd say we missed.
I mean, Kane Penn's the one player who went where you kind of think, well, you wouldn't be surprised if he ended up at a higher level at some point, because he's a very consistent, intelligent player, I think.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, well, we got lots of new ones to like now. I just got to get to know them all.
Get to know a new groundsman, maybe.
Oh, what's going on with?
Didn't you see he's gone to Lewis?
Oh, what?
Yeah,
Simon Rudkins.
Really?
I need somebody at bloody Lewis. Every time we turn up, it's called off because of the freaking pit.
No, I think that's the case anyway. He put on Twitter yesterday. So
yeah, I saw that. I was hoping somebody would be able to tell me why and what's happening.
So Simon was at the ground yesterday, and obviously Lewis have got, Simon. Everyone knows Simon works at Wembley as part of the Wembley team. You know that. Obviously Lewis have got one of these hybrid carpet and grass woven pitches. So they've got.
Sounds like their beer.
Huh?
Sounds like their beer.
Their beer's shocking.
They've got their great. They've got this lovely modern pitch. So when they were looking for somebody, it was obviously a great opportunity for Simon to work on the type of pitch that obviously using modern technology, etc. And in the same, obviously, a half on the way towards what they use at Wembley, which is obviously an uber posh example of that type of pitch. And so he wanted to go and work with the kind of pitch technology that they've got at Lewes. So obviously that was what was the draw for him. Yeah. He said he's still going to work at Hastings in the meantime. Where that goes, who knows? But he said that's what he's doing at the moment.
I know Simon, he will.
So are we
in the morning?
Are we expecting the dream team of Gary Histed and Dane as groundsmen? Is that possible? Do you think
if that is the case, then there definitely won't be any more back passes to Craig.
Oh dear. Oh, okay.
Well, we know that Dane does everything, but I'm not sure Grant does that much.
He does everything with a smile on his face as well, doesn't he?
No, he does. We love him really. I'll tell you for his benefit.
Yeah.
I was looking at a video today of the 2001-2002 season. Stuart Miles sent me some links to the videos that I shot back in those days.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh. And they've now ended up on YouTube.
The lithographs. The
state of the pitch in those days.
Yeah,
I mean that's not knocking the guy who was
proper football back then, mate.
I can't remember. He ended up retiring to France. Dave Bitton. He was groundsman then, and obviously technology's moved on, as we all know. But the state of that pitch, and I just watched the highlight I watched tonight was the home defeat to St Leonard's. And how that game finished, I'll never know.
Oh my God!
The state of that pitch.
Yeah. Oh dear, it was a swamp.
I mean, what Simon Rudkins has done with that pilot field pitch has been absolutely outstanding. But pitches are generally better everywhere. But what Simon's done a really good job at Hastings. I hope he stays there in one form or another. But
I don't know how he does that and hold down his job as well, which is gardening.
Yeah. He stopped. That's the big change. He stopped doing garden works.
He has stopped
groundworks, is it?
Yeah,
so he stopped doing that.
Okay, don't blame him.
So he's taken a break from that, and obviously the pitches are his. Sort of goes without saying. That's his first love, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can see, you can understand him moving on to Lewes to do work on a different type of pitch, because that's what's coming. That's what's coming. It's the same thing as the argument about programs.
Yeah, I knew he was going to go there. But
no, believe me,
we're going to have digital pitches.
You know, I always buy a program everywhere. When I get to a game, I always buy a program. What about that one at Canby Island last season? Then that little hand-sized program they had.
That was quite nice.
Yeah,
quite
pocket
nice.
size, wasn't it?
That was interesting, wasn't it? That was interesting. Yeah. I'll always buy a printed program, but I just think that digital it's creeping in everywhere.
No, don't like digital.
Not at Enfield, not at Enfield, and not at Margate, mate.
No,
and not at Hastings.
I don't know what Gabe at Enfield thinks about it, but for me, if we did go digital, there's so much more you can do with it. But an awful lot of people don't bother to read the digital thing. I must admit, I don't. I did make an effort once or twice the last couple of seasons. I think I read the East Grinstead one a couple of years ago, and it was pretty good. But it's coming. It'll be there, and like the pitches are changing as well.
Yeah.
So, I think certainly at our level, there's still demand for something that you can take with you. You can read it in the stands.
Yeah,
something tangible.
Yeah,
I collect programs.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I've got them going back to 1978. So yeah, I've not got a lot of room left, but I still want a program.
That's what I was going to ask you next. Just storage, where you put them all. Yeah,
they're all under the bed.
Yeah.
I'm a big collector, and I probably got Hastings. Well, going back to Hastings and St Leonard's, so going back to late 40s, early 50s.
Right.
Blimey.
I've got one from 1936.
Oh wow.
Right. I managed to. Somebody said, "Oh, you like programs, don't you?" I've got this really old one. I'm like, gimme.
I'm still collecting. I'm still collecting now. I particularly specialise in Hastings United FA Cup programs, and I'm still collecting now. So I'd
Not
be
many of
gutted.
those.
I'd be gutted if we stopped. I've got shed loads of things. I've got shed loads of Stamkos and St Leonard's FC and shit like that. And I've offered them to a couple of people, but I can't get rid of them. A huge box of them, Windy.
Yeah, cool. I think it's only a matter of time before the. Only a matter of time before
yes, please, and I ain't heard from them again.
It's only a matter of time before there'll be an AIPA man, won't there?
Already, isn't there?
Yeah. Hey, you've got a new chair now, haven't you? Your bench, stools.
I want my stools. Yeah. I know we've given it. You when you come. Are you coming on Saturday, John?
No, I've got to go. I can't go on Saturday because one of the fans who died last year. It's a memorial for him over at Bexhill. So I'm going over to that and missing it. I'd rather miss a friendly than a league match if I can.
Yeah. Well, next game, drop in. Yeah, because we've refurbed, put all new pictures up, and we got a couple of old 50s, 60s diner stools from a second hand.
I saw that. Yeah.
And we threw out the old seat that was in there and put the diner stools in instead. And got a load of new pictures printed and replaced all the old fading photos. And
excellent.
Hoovering it was quite interesting because if you hoovered in a corner, then bits started to come away.
Oh no! And then they condemned the.
We thought the whole main stand was going to come down around.
You've hoovered up the main stand. It's just all disappeared into a massive Hoover bag.
I'll probably be dead from asbestos poisoning in a few months' time.
I have to say, Andy, you've done a cracking job with all of that. You've really made it your own.
I have enjoyed it. It's sometimes quite stressful. Yeah, I do enjoy it. I wouldn't have done it if I didn't think I'd enjoy it. When the job came up, I thought to myself, if you don't throw your hat in the ring for that, you'll never forgive yourself. So it's really good fun contributing, really.
I mean, it sounds like you're having fun, and that means it's fun to listen to. So, yeah, well done.
So, it's just a bit of fun doing the music and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it gives me something to think about. I've been torturing myself this afternoon listening to things like Six Music and Radio 1 dance playlists to try and pick stuff out. And my God, talk about I do it so you don't have to. That was a long that was a long couple of hours, I'll tell you.
I think they're going to be looking at coming out to something new, Andy.
Right, well, they got Paul asked me about Sussex by the Sea, so I gave him the history of how we came away from it and back to it. So I told him what the situation was, and I just said, look, it's up to you. I'd already spoken to him to say, if you want players' music between 2:15 and 2:45, warm-up music, you can have that as well. So he said he would speak to them. So I've already spoken to him because at the end of the day, the players are the priority. So that slot is for them as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, again, the only thing with walkout music is obviously the older fans. There's they just really, really make a big thing of Sussex by the Sea. They really are very much invested in it. So I told him all that. I told him the history of it and why we are where we are. So again, I'm fine. I'll do whatever people want. It's because we get our time to play our music at half time and that sort of stuff. So that's all good.
I was very pleased to hear Sussex by the Sea actually the other night, rather than that awful Tangerine Dream rubbish.
Well, hang on, Terry and Gabs are obviously still here and having to listen to us waffle on. What music do your boys come out to? Do they come out to any music at Margate?
We don't have one.
We've got the Libertines.
You come out to the Libertines, and you don't have any
sponsors still. So.
Oh, right.
No, there was a quirk that during the season when we were sponsored by WWE, the first couple of games we came out to like wrestling soundtracks.
Superb.
Which was quite funny, but it hasn't lasted. Do you know, among the various sort of group chats and stuff, there has been a bit of chatter about what we could come out to, but there's nothing. I don't know. There's no kind of county association, or I mean, London Calling would be a bit generic.
You want to come out with that song by Chaz and Dave then?
Are you talking about Margate now? You're talking about Margate now, aren't you? Yeah. He's Enfield.
I was going to say.
Yeah. No. I was addressing it to
Yeah, so we used to come out to a lot of the time. We're back in like the 80s and 90s. But I'll say since we've been sponsored by the Libertines, we've come out to one of their tracks. So
yeah, I can't imagine what you'd
be something like "Don't Look Back." Be something like "Don't Look Back into the Sun," won't it?
Bump it up, honestly.
Yeah.
It's not 80s rock music. I have no idea.
Oh well, welcome to my world. I have to, I spent half my life trying to sort of absorb stuff from everywhere now, so that I can.
I'm like, okay,
part of the fun.
Well,
we might have some fun on Saturday. We might see if we can dig out some. I've got a load of TV theme tunes and that I've stored now, so we might have the Sweeney or Dixon Got Green or something like that.
Why not?
I think Bruce Forsyth
come Z Cars at one point.
Yes, play Z Cars for me.
Yeah,
what would come out to Z Cars, so you know.
No, the best one was when we come out to the Champions League music in that cup. Smithy put that on. I mean, was it Smithy or you, Andy? I can't remember if you were in the box at the time.
That was just before my tenure.
That was brilliant. Well played, Smithy, on that one.
Yeah, I reckon we're going to have to do something like that for our first game, though, because we've got a new trophy cabinet now.
Exactly, warm that trophy cabinet up.
Yeah, got that ready.
Champions.
Yeah, got that. Did over our ex-manager. He gave us the finger as he walked off.
I hope we keep up our time-honoured tradition of cheesy classics. You know, like Nut Rocker and
Popcorn.
Yeah, Popcorn. Yeah, you got it.
You're putting pressure on Andy here. That's a lot of pressure.
Saturday, we had Tony Bennett on Saturday, so I left my heart in San Francisco.
Oh, nice one, mate. Well,
you had Bruce Forsyth for everyone to walk home to.
Which
you had Bruce Forsyth for everyone to walk home to.
We did, yeah. I played "Life Is the Name of the Game" by Bruce Forsyth.
Very good.
Actually, talking about Sussex by the Sea, I've told Chris this before. I'm actually very fond of the Bad Manners version.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah.
On the podcast, I think we should use that.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. The club might not want to do that.
Try and figure out which ones we used to come out with. And Bad Manners were all sponsors back in the 90s. Bloody busted vessel doing a cartwheel on the pitch.
Lip up fatty.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what we used to come out to.
Oh, brilliant.
Now you mention it.
Yeah. So Gab, Enfield just do not come out to music at all.
No, it's at all. And
is it just silence and tumbleweed?
No, so Andy on our the man behind the voice, the game show voice on the Tanway at Enfield Town. He does his best to drum up support. To be fair, music in general at Donkey Lane is just neglected. It is really neglected. It really is, and to the extent where we were worried as directors if I think we played. I think it was just during half time. This was a couple of seasons back, and we were worried if we played just sort of YouTube or something like that, if we'd get a sort of licensing bill through the post. So we do need to up our game there, I think. But again, it's a quandary of what we come out to. I suspect we'd be having similar debates to the one that's taking place here.
Yeah, you've worried Andy now. He hasn't got the licenses in yet.
Well, that's above my pay grade, that job.
I suspect that's just us being overcautious, mate, to be honest.
It's a little known fact that you can avoid all licensing fees if you just play the songs on a kazoo. There's an option.
Yeah, I mean,
I would actually say that I'm just playing them which is almost true, actually, that I'm only just playing them for my own personal consumption, and others happen to hear them.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of true of our PA, isn't it? Really?
Yes.
You might as well be playing on a kazoo.
Well, it is. I'm always, having sat in the main stand, as you are all aware. I'm painfully aware of the fact that you have to deafen the main stand for the players to hear it in the far corner where they warm up. You have to deafen the main stand, so it's like the juice runs out by the time it gets to the speakers on the far side. So but that's not going to change.
I've got to ask one question. What's your guys' opinions on goal music?
No.
Goal.
Yeah,
the best thing about Aveley going up and Herne Bay going down.
I hate that.
Yeah, because they played goal. It was just like, oh, sod off.
Especially when it wasn't a goal anyway.
Well, even the fact that it's.
Hey, Andy.
Yeah, we know you've scored. You got your scoreboard up there. You don't need to put the damn music on as well. You know, it's just.
Yes,
one of my bugbears. I bloody hate goal music.
I'm not. Yeah, I must admit, I am at best ambivalent about it. But you know,
I was quite. Oh, when we used to play Nirvana as a goal scoring guy. I was quite into that. Is it Nirvana?
No, I don't remember that one.
Doesn't sound like I can't think of a Nirvana song that's obviously.
It's that goes, yay!
Oh, Lithium.
Lithium, yeah. I think we did for a while.
Oh,
do we?
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
Not a bad choice of goal music, but I'm still I wouldn't. I think it's just I don't know if it's an issue just for our level, but just we're so used to the sort of drum track and the fans after a goal. I think it would take something away. I think if we put goal music.
It does a bit.
What's the threshold, Andy, in terms of consolation goals? Because I've been at games where you've been 4-0 down.
Yes.
And you've scored a consolation goal in the 90th minute, and they've played, I think.
Let me entertain you.
The Smile song at the time, and they played that for a consolation goal. So where do you draw the line in terms of when
funny,
you press the button or not?
The one thing I have had is when I've done women's games. And they last season or whenever when they were likely to thrash somebody about 8-0, I've actually said to Billy, I said, at what point do I stop playing goal music because we're just taking the piss? Because I think once you get to 5, I feel uncomfortable playing goal music.
There's no need at that point, is there? No.
Right, and gang, I think we've gone on long enough now.
Yeah.
Looking forward to this season. All to play for. It's going to be good. No matter where we finish, it's going to be fun. Obviously, I love the fan base. You know me. Just get to love this team. Looking forward to seeing you, Gabs, at Enfield. Obviously,
good luck, Gabs,
and Terry as well. Obviously, at
Margate, folks.
Good luck. Yeah. So anyway, take care.
Yep.
Wendy, Malk, Andy, Ian, Kev,
Gabriel,
and Simon in Philippines. Sorry, hang on. I'm getting everyone tonight. That take you, and well, I won't see you Saturday, but I'll see you during the season. Anyway, take care.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Cheers, guys.
Good night, everyone.
All right, take care.